business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next item in new business is applications for board review. HARB 2023-12, 218 Lenore Avenue, Wayne, PA. Replace 4-bay garage with 1-floor living space and 1-bay garage. Before we get into the presentation, I would like to share some basic background on this property. According to Radnor Township records, it is a contributing property. According to Radnor Historical Society's Historic Resource Survey, there is no further information. According to Delaware County property records, they came through again. Year built, 1884. Building area is 1,997 square feet living. The style is colonial. The exterior walls are stucco. I was a little bit curious about the year built date from the county's records. But on Radnor Historical Society's website, they do have a picture, yeah, of 219 Lenore, yeah. And both those women are dressed in, clothing that's very like 1880s, 1890s. So I thought, okay, the Delaware County property records must be on target. It's unfortunate that with that pic, that they didn't have the house. So it's unfortunate with the picture. Again, it's only a picture of two women, but it gives the address, but there is no picture of the house.
Yeah, the house is there.
Oh, it is.
And that's a copy of the
I believe
picture?
this is that's the, I think that's the picture you were looking at.
Oh, no,
No?
no, no.
This was from, we got from Ted Adelberger, Mr. Adelberger.
Okay.
Originally owned the house, well, not originally. Mr.
bought it
Beadle
from
owned the house in 18, he probably built the house. He had a record of him living there in 1913 with his family. That is probably that.
All right, well, again, the picture I was mentioning was from Radnor Historical Society's record.
Okay.
And again, it did mention the address,
Yes.
but it didn't have a picture of the house. But thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
If anyone else would like to go and see.
It's deteriorated, the photo's deteriorated.
No, that's why he took that. Okay.
Is Ian here?
Yes.
Okay,
You want to show,
Um,
you want to see the picture?
sir, and no hurry.
All right.
And when you do your presentation, if you could put your plans on that table, because our meetings are recorded and some
Very
people
good.
also might be joining us today. And well, with that being said, please introduce yourself and share your plans with us.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for hearing me here. My name is Douglas Carroll, and this is my wife, Kathleen. We live at 218 Lenore Avenue. That was the picture you just saw. And we've lived there since 2000. And we bought the house from Mr. Adelberger, who I don't know if any of you know him, but he's a legendary Wayno from, he used to have the florist on Conestoga Road there, and the house backs up to the corner of that. He did, when he bought the house was, as far as we can find, the house was built in the 1880s, and the family that lived there was the Beadle family, and they owned a store which is it was the Asian Garden, or right a catty corner to the IAC. It was a store, and that was in business for quite a while. I believe it was in business until around the 50s. So, but when Mr. Adelberger bought the house, and he told me that he bought the house in 1952, and it was in terrible disrepair. He did a lot of restoration. He stuccoed the house. The house was originally clapboard, as you can see from that picture. He stuccoed the whole house. He put in a big window. He added to the kitchen. He added the porch, the back porch. He was a big concrete pouring guy, and he poured the concrete for the basement floor, and he also poured, he kind of rebuilt the garage. The garage was originally a stable, but when he got there, it was in pretty disrepair. And from him telling me that we actually lived across the street from him from the 1980s, and we bought the house from him. So he was our neighbor, and we used to talk all the time.
One quick question. With the current garage that's there, was that garage originally a stable?
Not the one that's there now.
Okay. All right.
The original building on that same footprint was a stable, and he repurposed a lot of the wood, and but he put in the electric doors, and he put in a couple of more windows, and he poured a concrete floor for the thing, and he replaced a couple of the main joists because you can tell they're not original things, and he replaced. He said he did a lot of work on it, and I kind of got the feeling that he sort of rebuilt the whole thing, because from his description, the house was in dire disrepair, and his wife Louise was very upset that he bought the house, but he bought the house so he could have access to his florist, which was right there, and he could go, and he had he was quite a guy. He installed a intercom from his house over to the florist, and when we moved in, we were able to get back to work over there. But that was, one of the little things. But he did quite a bit of work on it, and the garage itself is now it's dilapidated, and if we could spend a lot of money and put it back together, but we both just retired and we're looking at our living situation down in the future, and we came across the modular home builder Icon, who has been in business for a long time. One of their sites is up in Selinsgrove, PA, which is up north of Harrisburg, and they build modular homes to your specifications. And so we thought, oh, okay, this is great, and we got a floor plan together, and we started looking at different architectural designs, because we wanted to keep the whole theme of our property in theme with the house itself. And so we were able to put together a drawing here. This is here we are. This is the front view of this, and this is the rear view, which would be looking out, to the backyard neighbors. But this is all, we feel that this architecture is keeping in the same theme as the house itself. Let's see here. This is a picture of the existing garage. And this is a picture of, if you're standing on Lenore Avenue and you're looking up, it's way at the back of the property. And so then we have, we have here an artist's rendition. This is the one you have, but I got a new architectural software thing, and I was able to sort of fool around with it. I'm still learning it, but this is kind of what we're looking at, except I don't have windows. There's going to be windows in the dormers all along here. There'll be windows, but we have, as you can see, we'll have a one-bay garage here, and this will be the front door, and we're going to try and have barn doors that will slide closed, like shutters, sort of like this. Here, if you can see, can you see, that is sort of our idea of, yeah. See the two doors on the side slide along that railing along the top, and the front door is there, so it'd be like a shutter arrangement kind of thing. But that's really more aesthetic than anything else.
I agree, but also too, I was thinking, if that stable was located there, I do believe Northwestern Stables in Philadelphia has some doors like that.
Right. I think, I'm not familiar with that, but maybe it is, because I have seen some Philadelphia people that do that, and that we picked this up online, and that was sort of what we're aiming for. We're aiming to keep the whole architecture in that barn theme, not barn theme, sort of the stable. Yeah.
So at street distance, you're not really going to be able to tell an original barn door from 1850 from that barn door, because at 60 feet, they look pretty similar.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And if you're going by it 3 miles an hour while you're walking, it's still going to be looking like a barn door on the side of the front door.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we believe that, like, if you can look at this picture, this is the sidewalk right here. And so this is one of the electric doors that actually rises up. You really can't see that they have a couple doors in the middle there. But yeah, as you know, I don't think, unless you walk back there, you could. Right, right. I guess, yeah, if you wanted to. But see here, as you look here, this is from the back. This is from pretty much the back of the driveway, and you can see these doors. I believe he repurposed these are some of the original doors, and we would like to. We've been thinking about possibly trying to repurpose those and use them as the doors, but
Please do.
we don't know.
Yeah.
We're not really sure
If you
if that's
can,
gonna be possible.
repurpose anything, I would encourage that.
Pardon me?
If you could repurpose anything, I would encourage that.
Right. Oh yeah. I'm big on that. We kept our windows. The house. We tried to keep a lot of the original, all the trim around the doors and stuff. It's all the original stuff, and a lot of it is you just can't find anymore. So you have to either repair it or have my cousin is a mill. He's a furniture builder. sometimes he can, help. But he was very impressed with the woodwork that we have there, the original woodwork. And we've tried to keep faithful to that whole genre, the whole thing. So all our windows are still pretty much the original windows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a couple of questions for me. I'm just kind of curious about a few things. What, I guess, what is the sort of siding or exterior surface that you're contemplating on the new modular building? What is the siding? Like, what is it going to look like?
Oh, it's-
Board and batten
Okay.
Yeah.
is the
The
style.
front,
Mhm.
yeah.
And it's, I'm not sure if it's real wood or it's a synthetic, but
Yeah.
it looks,
Yeah. Are you going to try
Likely.
to, I'm just, are you going to try to match the existing house color? Like, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That's a real, that's one of our primary ideas, is to
Yeah.
keep everything all along the scale. So like, when you're looking at it from the street, you'll see
Yeah.
the house.
And then just one other question is, what's going to be the height of the new structure compared
20
to
feet.
20 feet? And then what's the height of that one?
20 feet.
Oh, really? It'll be the same?
Right,
Oh,
same
wow.
height.
That's great.
Yeah, well, as you can see on the top of that one, there's a windmill, or a weather vane, there's a weather vane up there. And that's, we'd like to use it, put that on top.
Oh, that's
too,
nice.
Because, I mean, it's antique. It's a,
Mhm.
really nice thing.
I just want to mention something about, you were talking about to repurpose the wood. So when the garage comes down, what we want to do is use the wood from the garage structure to make the barn doors. There'll be a barn door where the garage is, and then another barn door, two individual barn doors next to the main entrance.
And we'd like to, use as much of that. Our demolition company is Amish, they're from the Amish area, and they're very big on repurposing anything they can. That's part of their, theme, that's part of their mission. So, and they've been out and they've looked at it and they're like, this is, some of this stuff, might be good, but they've also looked and said, a lot of this is just, it's just too old. It gets rotten.
Terry, do you have a question?
I sure do, because I appear to be the only one who's stupid and not figuring this out. It appears to me that you're building a separate residence on the same property as the large house. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
And it also looks as though the side
if
and rear lot lines are,
Some insight, Terry, real quick. It's an accessory structure, and there's limitations as to what can be done on the inside as far as, it's not a second home. It's an accessory structure to the main home.
how does that fall? Okay, as I told you, I couldn't look at my zoning map ahead of time. And so, how does,
I believe a contractor friend of yours contacted me, and we had a discussion about, if you do not have a oven, cooktop, range, essentially, a full kitchen, you can have a partial kitchen. You can have dishwasher, microwave, toaster oven, hot plate, refrigerator, garbage disposal. That keeps the separation in eyes of zoning. When this application, if approved by this board and the application comes through, it'll go through all the standard review process. Zoning will review the application, engineering will review the site plan, and then codes will review the codes associated with the module.
so it would become essentially a rental property with those
No.
limitations?
No.
You're still thinking of, what would you do with the big house?
Our son
son.
and his wife are going to move in there.
Well,
And
that
so
would
they'll
answer one
be able
question.
to-
We have in Radnor Township the no more than 3 unrelated people, and I wasn't sure into how many zoning codes that went. I know it's, what's true in zone one and two.
Non-related, I think that may have been changed over the years. You know, but we have, it's very common for accessory structures, detached garages, to have in-law suite on the second floor, home office, home gym, art studio, and it's a very common question is, oh, you know, I'm gonna finish this space, I wanna pull, you know, might as well put a full kitchen in here, and we let them know they can't. Because it would, then you would have, two-family dwelling on a single-family lot, which would be a zoning violation. So all of this will go through the review process, and, you know, any comments and changes or, you know, sort of declarations on the plan would be added to make sure that, you know, that's what we have here.
Yeah, we were aware that you can't have an oven, and so we talked to our builder about that, and Icon, who does the modular construction, and that's eliminated from the
Design.
design. It's not in the plan.
I've heard of a lot of effective reasons to escape cooking.
There we are. And
What's the use of the second floor?
The second
there is
floor,
technically, there is no second floor. It's the top of the ceiling. It's going to be storage. It's not going to be finished. We may insulate it for, you know, for efficiency, you know, heat efficiency and stuff. But we're not going to, there's nothing going to be up there. There is going to be access to it. So it'll be an attic, basically, you know, at the most.
One of the things I'd just like to share is what we do on the board, as far as what is inside a proposed property, is not in our purview.
Right, I know.
Yeah, just the outside.
The reason I was asking
And
is
the
because
design.
the dormers on this building, while they're sympathetic to the original house that has dormers, I'm not sure they do anything but make the building more noticeable and volume greater at the back of the property. It's already, I think if you slide your site plan over to the other site plan, the other one, the big sheet on the bottom. The big sheet on the bottom, if you slide that over to capture the other, no.
No, the big
large-
sheet.
The largest drawing down there, and slide that over to the right, I guess, to get the left-hand portion in. What I'm trying to get at is the original garage, there you go. Is the original garage the part that is not in the emboldened L?
I believe the original garage,
The second picture has it delineated similar to the size of that non-bolded L.
Okay, that's what I was
This
trying to-
picture,
The other side of
this picture.
the same one.
yeah, here we are. This is the proposed area.
It's a little wider.
Right there. And yes, it is a little larger, and we actually moved it. Right now, the garage is sitting right at the easement of the 3 feet. We moved it back in 2 feet to make a 5-foot, this was our architect suggested this because you want to be able to walk around the building. So we're moving it 2 feet more in, so it'll be 5 feet from the easement, from, 5 feet in on this side and this side. The existing garage is 20 by 35, and our proposal is, our footprint is going to be 50 by 30.
Right,
So it's that much bigger.
that's what I thought.
Can I, Mr. Hartsfield, you were speaking about the dormers,
Yes.
and we have, if you think that they're not appropriate, I was considering putting a I think it's called cupola on top. My thought with the whole structure is to leave it more garage-like and less house-like.
Right.
Because, well, first of all, our daughter-in-law will be, I don't want her coming home every night and thinking, oh, God, there they are, looking at a house. But, if she, well, it just, in keeping with the look of the property, to keep it more of a garage-like structure. So if the dormers are too intrusive, then, to just make it a little more attractive and barn-like, we could put the cupola.
But that would add to the overall height, where the dormers do not. The reason that we even went with the dormers, we originally didn't have the dormers, and it's not a drop-dead, money-breaking thing, because they haven't even built the thing yet, so we have to, once we get everything all straightened out, we go to them and say that, so we could just say, lose the dormers, that would be no big deal. But in my opinion, the reason I went with the dormers was specifically to keep with the symmetry of the property, and it's nothing that has nothing to do with efficiency or better space, or it's a purely aesthetic thing in my view, and that's why I have, I'm not 100% wed to it, but I really feel having, that would really enhance the property by having the dormers. And, again, it's not a
Deal breaker.
deal breaker. But
If you look at the front picture of the house, it's got 3 dormers in it.
Right,
that are exactly the same, so it more mirrors the existing structure like it was built with it than it would if it was not
Maybe so.
with dormers.
right.
They're different,
That's what I'm thinking
different
also.
proportions. I mean, there's, the front of the house has like square dormers. These are very upright, and from the side elevation, they're rather large. So, but I'm just thought I'd talk about it. I'm not saying you have to remove them. I just didn't know what the intent was. So that space is not really occupied space.
No,
Okay.
No, it
No,
won't be
no.
occupied.
it's going to be, it's going to be the top. It's going to be the
Yeah.
little, it's, it's not going to be, you'll probably be able to I'll probably be able to stand up
In the center.
middle. But I don't think, there's not going to be a lot of space there.
I would just like to share something with, with the cupola. Here's my take on it, okay? If it doesn't have a direct purpose, and these cupolas are on stables, I've seen them, they've been on my family's farms in Bucks County back in the day. And so my take is, if it doesn't have a function, don't do it.
Okay.
I have a function for it. If it comes to that, I would use one with glass so that it would let light into the, into the top of the structure.
Entirely understandable, and I do understand that, because we also have had other people who have presented before our board with the same argument. And also, in my opinion, the more light, the better.
I don't get the sense that we're going to be opposed to the dormers
No.
ultimately at all,
Okay.
so I wouldn't really worry about that.
No,
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's basically it. That's, we think this company Icon is a very reputable group, and we've been up to their manufacturing place, and it's really cool. It's like a big aircraft hangar, and they have this conveyor belt, and they just start out, they put the floor down, they move to the next thing, they put the walls. Everything is done inside. There's no outside environmental things like when you get a stick building, regular builder, a lot of the times the frame is sitting out in the elements, and they finish the whole thing and they plop it onto a tractor trailer and deliver it, and then they get a crane and they, the site prep is all done, and they plop it down. They said the construction of the house, after it's built, the actual on-site construction is 2 to 3 days. So it's like, wow.
Wood and the glass go in and the house comes out the other end.
I know, exactly. It just, I'm just really impressed with their whole operation.
We've actually had several full-size, single-family homes, modular
Sure.
construction in the township over the years. It's just a different approach. A lot of the inspection process happens at the facility, and part of our building permit review is the documents from the facility will be submitted, indicating that all of their inspections are taking part on site. So it's an interesting process. It's different, but we've had several of them done very successfully in the township.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Andy. Let me see.
I'm good.
I just have one comment. You're taking gabled dormers for the proposed garage from 218 Lenore Avenue?
218.
Yeah, 218. A house next to yours. In the design plan, and this is commendable, in my opinion. Are there any further comments or questions from the board?
None for me.
No.
I'm good.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Motion for certificate of appropriateness?
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Only been thirded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I also say aye. The motion carries. The board recommends a certificate of appropriateness, and thank you for presenting to us today.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you for having us.
Before we adjourn, I would like to mention that the next hard meeting
Here, I'll take these.
is scheduled for November 1st, 2023, at 6:30 PM. Applications for the November 1st meeting must be submitted on or before October 17th, 2023. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned, and thank you, everyone, for joining us.